What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it in Run 8, and nighttime is the right time to do some switching. We're back down in Rice Yard at Waycross on the Waycross DLC, and we're going to be working a trim job tonight. So basically what a trim job would do is they would pull cars out of the bowl, set them over into a departure track, and basically build the train, build the outbound train. They'd build the train, then someone would come along and lace the air hoses, and they would put it on yard air and charge it up. Hostlers would bring power to it, and then they would get the train ready to go, and then the outbound crew would get on it and take it out of here. So that's like the process in a nutshell, a very brief form of it. So yeah, here we are down at B Tower. So that's looking at the bowl that way with all the lights. Back this way would be the tail tracks or the pull out tracks. I've heard them called both ways. So I like to call them tail tracks, but either way, yeah, they just give you a little bit of room to kind of pull out of the bowl and set them over. Usually they have multiple jobs down here working, at least 2, if not more than that. Just constantly pulling and setting cars over. We've got a few outbound trains already. We've got these Miamis here. We got the Mobiles set over on the South Forwarding, and then as far as the bowl, we got some full tracks here. We got Montgomery's, Mobiles, Birmingham's. We got the CLRs. I don't know what the CLRs other than the fact that they're somewhere between Waycross and Montgomery. I don't know what they could be, but they're going to go on that train. We're going to put them on there. And probably the Birmingham's too. Now, I'm running this on the old 2002 schedule. It's what I'm familiar with. At least I know a little bit about it. It's not like I know everything about it, but I know a little bit about it. Excuse me. So yeah, we're going to build a Q650. Which basically back in the day it was kind of a round robin train. That thing went everywhere. It started out in Waycross, it went over to Montgomery, it went up to Birmingham, and it finally ended up in Louisville. So it would have like these CLRs, it would have the Montgomerys. We could put these bibs on there as well too. If we had any Thomasvilles or Dothans, you could put those on there. So I don't think we have any Thomasvilles or Dothans. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So yeah, that's going to be the train we're going to focus on right now and get that cleared out. And we may, I don't know. I think we're just going to pull those right now. I was going to say we might do something with these Miamis here. The Miamis would go on a, back in 2002, they would go on like a, let's see, like a 453. So we could, I don't know if that train made set-outs back then. I don't know if it ran direct to Miami, if it made set-outs, but we could put Wildwoods on it if we wanted to. They didn't have a Waycross to Wildwood train back then, so there would have to be a set-out from another train. We could do that. But yeah, there's a lot to build here, so let's go ahead and hop on the power and we'll see about getting started. Our Y292 down here, ready to go. Put them in reverse, and let's see about getting ourselves routed into that track. Now, someone left a comment the other day, said Shift F8 will show your yard tags, and that's absolutely right. I had completely forgot about that. So here's our bowl tracks all the way from B1 to B64. As you can see, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think it has all the tracks labeled, probably. Yeah, diesel service, south. Well, yeah, it doesn't label them per se. It just labels the location, but it does label the bowl, so that's good. Local yard here, Herco Yard. Herco Yard is an old yard. If there's anything left from like the original ACL yard that was here back like pre-75, the Herco Yard would probably be it. That would probably be like the last remaining thing, because the original yard was right through here, and they eventually made it into the receiving yard, and then they built the bowl and all that stuff. So Herco Yard, I think they use that to store cars of stumps, like they use pine rosin and stuff at some factory over in Brunswick that made explosives, I think back in World War I. Or something like that. And I think the Herco Yard was part of that operation. Maybe. I could be totally in left field. I'd have to go back and read up on that. But I think it had something to do with that. But all right, so let's get back on 292. Let's see. We're going to pull. I think what we're going to do is pull the CLRs first. Then the Montgomerys, and then put the bibs on that. And we're going to put them over in North Forwarding. I guess we could do, really, we could do either one. Trying to think which one would be the easiest to go to. I don't know, maybe south. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a bowline train, so he's going to go out that way. He could go from the south. We may just send him over to the south. I think it may be a little easier to do that. All right, let's see about grabbing our CLRs. Retrace our steps here. How we get? All right, get that switch there. Get this one here. That's kind of a time-consuming process. There's a lot to this. All right, we should be lined all the way in. All right, let's go. Let's do it. We're using SD40-2 today, or tonight. It's the 8210. They've used a lot of power, a lot of different power down here on the pull-out jobs. Of course, they're remote control jobs nowadays. I think they use SD42s down there now. Like I said, I'm not sure. I know at times they definitely have used SD42s in the past. When I was down in Waycross back in the day, I think they were using B30-7s and maybe something like an MP15 or something along those lines to pull. They've used a ton of different things over the years. It's changed a lot. We'll get this guy in there. We'll grab those. We'll just keep doubling over too. We'll keep doubling over. We'll grab the clears and then we'll get the Montgomerys and then we'll get the... Actually, no, we're not going to do that. Scratch that. We got to build our train correctly, so we're going to do it from the bottom up. So we'll get the Birminghams, and then the Montgomerys, and then the clears. Okay. And then we'll shove all that in the south forwarding track. Okay. Never mind. New plan. Plans changed, right? Let's get him stopped, and let's go into the bibs. I don't think we have Louisvilles. I don't think there is any Louisville traffic in the yard. I don't think that exists. Like I said, the yard is kind of set up for a kind of like a conglomeration of current operations, and we're doing it more like 2002, so it'll be a little bit different. All right, let's pull these out. I couldn't imagine pulling these tracks with a GE, with a B30-7. That had to suck like no tomorrow because they weren't the greatest switch engines. They really just weren't. They were all right. Most every local I ever worked had a GE on it. Like I can count on one hand how many times we had EMDs, because the GEs always hung out in the southeast because they were based out of Waycross. That's where they were serviced. At least the 4-axle. I think the C30-7s were serviced out of Corbin, Kentucky back then, but the 4-axle stuff was all out of Waycross. Alright, we'll keep pulling. I think we're going to be okay down here. Got some dark spots down here, man. Hopefully, yeah, it's a little dark down here. I think we're okay, though. Yeah, the G's didn't have the best wheel slip control. They weren't they weren't that great at that. They weren't that great, especially the B36s. We used to get those on locals a lot too, and they would spin like no tomorrow. They had really long legs, like at high speed intermodal stuff, but when it came to like low speed switching, you know, pulling a lot of tonnage, man, they sucked. They were not good at all. Yeah, we got quite a few Birmingham cars here. So next we'll come over to the Montgomerys. We'll grab those, which will be right here. This guy. And get this guy. Alright, that should be good. Never worked any kind of bowl job. This is completely foreign to me. I don't even know how they would go about this as far as like car counts and stuff. Would they count everything out or would they just pull it? I have no clue. Going just a few more here. Seems like she's wanting to slow down on us a little bit. It's relatively flat here. We don't have to worry about any hills or anything like that. I think anything that makes you slow down is just purely the rolling resistance of the train itself, the tonnage. Like I said, these are all bled off, no air on them. You don't use air at all. Okay, let's get that thrown, and we should be good to go into the Montgomerys, right? Face our steps. Yeah, we're good with that. All right. Yeah, I wish our power was louder. That's one thing I really wish it was a good bit louder, honestly. I'd rather it be too loud and have a way to tone it back than it not to be loud enough, right? There, that should be good. Let's come out of the throttle. We'll shove them back. Shove them back to the Montgomerys. So whatever these CLR cars are, I'm assuming they would set them out somewhere between Waycross and Montgomery. Like that would be the first block that they would set out, and then the Montgomery, and then the Birminghams, and then the Louisvilles. Some railroads from back in the day had books on blocking. Like you could get these books and they would have a list of all the trains in them, and it would tell you how they were blocked. I've seen them for the Southern, but that's the only one that I've ever seen. I don't know if the Coastline ever had one or not, a book like that. If they did, I haven't seen one, but it would be cool if they did. This is going to be a lot of cars to hang on to. Now, at this point, I'm not sure. They may pull, like in real life, they may pull each individual cut and set them over instead of doubling over and then doing it, but we're kind of saving ourselves a little time by doing this. It's only one of us and a whole bunch of cars. All right, that'll do right there. Nice. All right, let's take them ahead. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. This is going to be a good pull right here, guys. I do now know that, like, all the times that I've seen the trim jobs and stuff like that, it was always just one engine. One B30, one MP15, one SD42, whatever the case was. Seems to be doing pretty good with that, though. SD42s were good locomotives. I used to like catching those, believe it or not. They were good engines. They ran really well. They always pulled well. They hardly ever gave any problems. Like, they were solid. Like, you could run those things ragged and they would just keep pulling, right? Like, the GEs would tear up, but the SD42s, you could just, literally, you could just abuse them like crazy and they would just keep going. Good power. All right. We'll keep pulling. So the most interesting hump power that I remember seeing back in the day was the SD38-2s. They had like 2 or 3 pairs of them up in Birmingham that they used on the hump, and there was only a few of those on the entire system. There weren't many at all, like 10 maybe. So yeah, this is basically the gist of the trim job. Like I said, I think they may have grabbed it cut by cut. I'm not sure. They could have doubled over some, but they may have done it cut by cut as well too. It'd be interesting to hear from someone that actually has worked the trim job. All right, that one's lined in, so then all we gotta do is just throw a switch up here and we'll be good to go. Not too bad down here at night, right? Like it's lit up pretty good. It looks pretty good. Not too terribly dark. Let's hit, we don't need the bolt tracks up. We'll pull that down. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of a stutter here and there, and I don't know why. Frames are doing good. Our frames are actually up. The other day when I did this video, I was running around 40 give or take, but the frames are up because of the shadows. Now, we could have the hump running right now, but I don't know. It just seems to be a bit much maybe in single player. Maybe if I get a little bit more used to it and proficient, then we could run the hump at the same time. But there's some things you have to do to kind of make it run efficiently. I just haven't bothered with it. I want to clean the yard out at least a little bit. Like, you've got overflow tracks, and you could take the... You know, once one track fills up, you could swap the next track over as far as like your hump track, and then you would have time to pull that one because the one is full, because it wouldn't be humping any cars into it and that sort of thing. But we're not bothering with it. All right, it's gonna be good right here. Let's go ahead and stop them. Yeah, let's bring them back. We'll grab this last cut, and that's going to be our train. Yeah, that CLR totally has me puzzled. I have no clue what that could be. I really don't. Like I said, I know there's Thomasvilles, there's Dothans. There, like I don't know what that could be. I'm just like at a complete and total blank on what that could be. Anyway, I wish I could have worked a good yard job like this when I worked with the railroad. I probably would have stuck with it longer if I could have. I just hated being gone all the time, and it seemed like we were. Like, I spent way more time in away terminals than I ever did at home. Constantly turning on your rest. And arguing about your money. Like, that's what it consisted of. You know, constantly being tired, constantly being away from home, and then on top of that, constantly having to fight for your money. So, yeah, we need to go into idle. Never mind, Spur, come on. There we go. All right, let's drag them out of here. And this will be our entire train. Yeah, it's going to be a lot, man. This is going to be a train right here, I'm telling you. See what we got. What are we holding on to? 38 loads, 65 empties, 6,964 tons, 0.4 HPT is what we got pulling on it right now. It's not too bad. It's not bad. 5,900 feet too. That's really not bad at all. It looks longer than what it really is. So we got to pull these guys out. And we're going to set them over on this track. Are we lined up good? Are we okay? Other than we got to get this switch here, and we have to go through this crossover. So down here is where we need to pull to. All right. Let's do it. This is a very, like, chill, kind of low-key job in the sim, too. You know, I like this. Like, you know, a lot of times my gaming, I don't think people realize, like, they think, well, he just sits around and play games all day. I really don't. Like, I have very brief moments in the day where I can actually, like, sit down undisturbed and get something done, whether it's like recording a video, editing, that sort of thing. But a lot of my gaming consists of, like, well, I got 20 or 30 minutes to do this, so I'll do that real fast, and then I have to get up and go do something else, and then I got another 20 or 30 minutes. It's one of the reasons why I don't play squad. I've always wanted to play squad. I've enjoyed squad the times that I've played it. I love first-person shooters. But like every time I play squad, if I want to try to get into any kind of good server that I like, you're talking 15 or 20 minute wait time to get in because they're just about always full. Well, then there goes my 20 or 30 minutes right there. Like it spends 15, you know, half my time waiting to get in the server. And then I got 15 minutes left to play, you know, so yeah, that part sucks. It's why I don't. I'm hoping this summer it's going to get a little better. Like my kids are going to be home this summer, so you know, I'm going to have to kind of work around that. Then next year, all of them will be in school all day. Like my youngest only went half a day this past year, so it broke my day up, right? Like I was constantly going and doing things, picking up kids and stuff like that, going and getting her, and then a few hours going and getting my other two daughters, and then coming home and just, you know, it was just constantly going and doing stuff. But this summer should get a little better. And then next year when they're all back in school, most definitely, I'm really kind of hoping that I can actually do some more streaming. Like I will have time to sit at home and actually stream. Like I'll have more time undisturbed. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Yeah, let's keep pulling. It's going to take a hot minute to pull all this out. And this will be a bowline train, so he'll go out that direction. That's going to kind of that's going to interrupt our trimming a little bit, unless there's something over here we could do maybe. Yeah, we got Savannahs and Selkirks. We got cars over there we could trim while he pulls out on this side. There, almost to the bottom. Nice. Yeah, let's go ahead and see about getting on the independent, slowing this thing down. I think we feather a little bit. I don't generally bother with that. Yeah, in real life, you'd probably be sliding the wheels like no damn tomorrow, right? Won't bother with it too much. We'll feather it a little bit. Hear that slack running in and out. And there's a half car, all right. That'll do. All right, we're good. Let's see how far out he went. Oh yeah, he did. He pulled down the bow line a little bit there. Sure did. Almost to West Waycross. Wow, yeah. Oh yeah, I've never showed you guys. This is West Waycross down here. There's actually a crossover and all that stuff, but little short segment of CTC. The bow line is track warrant. It was DTC back in the day. Dark territory. All right, let's see about shoving this guy back in. So the way this train is set up is that the Clears are on the bottom, the Montgomerys, and then the Birmingham's on top. This is kind of the way they used to set up 544 when I had it. Like they would have the Atlantas on the bottom, so you just pull into the yard and just cut them off. It'd be blocked like Atlanta's, Cincinnati's, and then a little small Manchester cut on the head end. All right, knock in, pin it off. Might help if I did that. And you're not paying attention. I'm like, why is my train not moving? I was like, man, that's a lot of slack bunching up in that thing. And then I realized it wasn't doing anything. All right, are we good? I'm just making double sure, because when you're holding on to a big cut like this and you miss route, you could very well wind up hitting something. Going here in the lights. We'll catch up as he comes by. We don't really need to, I guess. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty cool down here at night. I like it at night. Ooh, some lightning. Some wicked looking lightning. It's extra jaggy. This is an extra jaggy lightning. Had some lightning here last night. Had some storms roll through. They kind of skirted us a little bit, so it wasn't too bad. Always get on edge this time of year where we live up in the Texas Panhandle because we're big on tornadoes, right? Like there's tornadoes all over the place. So it always makes me a little antsy. April and May. I start getting more relaxed about it in June. And there, here we are on the power. I'll give you guys a little power view here. I imagine this was a pretty monotonous job for an engineer, just back and forth all day. Used to see the hump engineers in Birmingham. You'd be like, you'd be in the receiving yard, like yarding your train in the receiving yard, and you see the hump cut go by. They would be shoving right, and engineer would be sitting there reading a book. He'd go easing by at like 5 miles an hour. He'd be reading a book. Oh yeah, we're still way on out there, man. Let's see if our conductor, yeah, he's awake. He shouldn't be up here though. He should be on the ground. I don't know. He needs to be on the ground doing his job. Cool little side note, when I hired out, the group that I hired out with, we were the last group hired on CSX that was not required to be remote control qualified. Everyone else after our group had to be remote control qualified. Like you had to learn how to do that. Now there was guys that I hired with that did that, that went on and became remote control qualified, but didn't have to. I didn't. They called me for some jobs that were, you know, wanted me to take some jobs that were remote, and I was like, no, I'm not, no. Not qualified, can't do it. Oh, some more lightning. Yeah, it's pretty bad out here. We need some thunder though. I don't think we have any thunder, right? I don't know if I've ever heard thunder. If there is some, maybe it's just really quiet. They're light on bright, so we see a little bit more there. In real life, they run on dim. They would run on dim so they wouldn't blind everyone, make you lose your night vision. There we go. Getting into the lit area now, so we can see a little bit more. Kind of dark off in the distance there, right? So yeah, I think this is basically going to be the whole video, is just building this one train. It's not a quick process. Like, it takes a little work. Yeah, get ready to come by B Tower. I want to say westbound trains, like leaving out the bow line, they would have to talk to B Tower before they could do that, maybe. I know in Birmingham, like if we were going up to the fire plug up by the bowl, we'd always have to talk to the bowl before we could do that. Even on the main line, like we have to talk to the bowl. It's kind of interesting how they had different names for the yard masters. Like in Birmingham, we call mainline yard master, and we would have to call him by this place that we would go by on Red Mountain called Spalding Mine. You'd have to call mainline there. Even though there's a separate dispatcher, right? But mainline did all the routing and stuff like that. I don't know how he coordinated with the dispatcher, but you should call mainline yardmaster. You tell him who you were and like how many cars you had, how long. I think sometimes like some guys would give EOT number and that kind of stuff, lead engine. You tell you to come on to Boyles. If he didn't tell you to come to Boyles, it didn't matter what kind of light you had. If you were running on clears, but he didn't tell you to come to Boyles, there's a street there in town called Green Springs Road. You did not go by that road until he told you to come on. Same thing in Atlanta. I think we called him mainline as well too, mainline yardmaster. You call him down at a place called Stratford and basically give the same information. He'd tell you to come on to Tilford. Or, you know, if they didn't tell you to come to Tilford, then you would have to hold out at a place called Chapel Road. Same thing for Waycross. You call A Tower. They were called A Tower. They weren't called Mainliner. You just call Rice Yard A Tower. And you would call them up around Haywood, somewhere in there, somewhere a little south of there, because his radio could be kind of spotty up there. And they'd tell you to come on to the yard. If they did not tell you to come to the yard, then you could not pass the Schoolhouse Road crossing, which was, I think it's just north of the Jamestown holdout, right? I think so. I'd have to go back and look now. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that was it. If he didn't tell you to come on, then you couldn't pass that road crossing. Regardless if you had a clear or whatever kind of signal indication you're running on, you could not pass that road. All right, we should be good about here. We'll shove a little extra so we have room for the power. Let's see, he's, I need to figure that out again. He's 7,000 tons. He's pretty heavy. All right, that should be good right here by the time we get it stopped. All right, feather independent. Yeah, we'll probably put 3 motors on the head end. I think that's what we'll do. We'll put 3. We'll give them a little extra horsepower. I want to give them a little more than 1 HPT because the bow line's actually pretty hilly. They got some pretty good grades on that line. All right, there we go. That should be good right there. All right, let's hop down. We'll make our cut, get this guy off of there, and then we'll spawn in some power to take this thing north. He's probably gonna be stretched, right? Yeah, it is. There we go. All right, take him ahead. All right, let's see where we're gonna take this guy, stick him somewhere for now. All right, we'll get this bad boy parked right here. And we'll spawn some power in for 650. Another cool thing about the yard, for you guys that like to work the yard, that have it, that do something with it, this right here would be the Thomasville main. They used to put trains on here. They used to tie down trains there. Like, instead of having them in the departure yard, they would put them on the Thomasville main. Sometimes there'd be several of them back to back to back. When they're like 592s and 684s and other trains like that, you know. Trains, usually, I guess they're all like northbound trains. Let's see, what kind of power we're going to put on this guy today. I think what we're going to do is 2 big jacks, 2 big dash 9s. We'll put those on there. We'll reverse that guy, and then we'll put 1 more. Give him a little extra power. Let's see. Let's just do... let's give him a Rent-A-Wreck. Let's give him the GCFX. Man, I wish we had more Rent-A-Wrecks in game, right? Man, that would be awesome. There were so many of them back in the day. All right, there we go. Yeah, 2 dash 9s and a Rent-A-Wreck at SD42. place train, and we'll put him, if it'll let us. It might not let us do it. No, that's not what I wanted. Not there. Put him on down here, maybe. Alright, let's put you right there. That should be good. So good? Yeah, that looks good. I think that'll work out. Alright, let's get him started up. We gotta relinquish our other train first. Get rid of you. Alright, let's... Alright, let's see about giving him a tag. This is 2002 schedule, like I said, so it's Q650. I cannot say that to save my life for some reason. I keep wanting to say Q250. Q650, 18. There we go, that's good. Alright, let's back this guy onto his train. Release the handbrake. Let's go right here. We'll see about catching up. I don't know why he's got that EOT. He shouldn't have one though. Alright, this will be good right here for now. We're going to release this guy real fast. And I'm going to kind of simulate like putting this thing on yard air. We'll do that and we'll hit Shift F7. That's going to lace all the airlines and have the air charged up. Hey, it's good to go. Alright, let's relinquish this guy now. Alright, now we're good. Bring this guy on back. Kind of doing the Hostler job. You know, Hostlers took power out, but I knew a lot of guys that had to take their own power out too. Like you'd go to the shop and get it and take it. I never had to do that. I guess I was just really, really lucky. Why are you not coming back? Come on. Well, I guess it'd help if I take it first, right? Alright, now I should come back. Yeah, Hostlers, like I said, every train I ever took out of the yard, we always had power on it already, but I knew a lot of guys that complained about having to get their own power and take it out to your train. I guess I was just extremely, extremely lucky, maybe, that I never had to bother with that. That should be good. Alright, let's lace these guys. Open him up. There we go. Open this one partial. You see your CFM come in, you know, come up here at the top. It should start dropping back down anytime now. Maybe not actually. Maybe not. You know what? We forgot to do something. Man, that's a really long train. This seems longer than 5,900 feet. Yeah, we didn't hang an EOT, so yeah, that would have never worked. Alright, why are we not showing anything on the rear? Oh, it's closed. Never mind. I thought it was open. It looks open. That's weird. It's showing that it's open, but it wasn't actually open. There we go. One of those air-driven EOTs. I never, like, they were all battery back in the day. They're all battery powered and they always sucked. Like, you get extra batteries. Like, I remember having to get a work train one night, a rail train, and they told me, they said the EOT may be dead. All right, yeah, we got 73 on the rear. Said your EOT is probably going to be dead because the train had been sitting in the siding for a long time, for several days. So I took 2 extra EOT batteries with me off the charger. They had a charger there in the yard office. I took them with me and they were both dead. All the batteries I had were dead, all 3 of them. So it sucked. I was like, man, you got to be kidding me. All right, I think the 650 is ready to go. I think it is. Let's hop out of them. And let's AI recrew this bad boy. If he does his thing. Come on, light up anytime now, guys. Y'all asleep in there? What you doing? Yeah, he's not going to go. All right, well, let's turn auto off anyway. And make sure we got everything lined up right. Yeah, we need to get this guy. We don't need this. Get him. This one's good right here. He should come right down this way. We got to get this one. Let's get our flashlight going so we can see. All right, yeah, he's going to pull out that way. And then that way, and he's going to come down here to West Waycross. We'll have to get him a light down here. Let's do that real fast. Let's see. Let's find a Waycross map. There we go. All right, West Waycross. Where are you at? There it is. New light there. Light at Ruskin. And then his DTC the rest of the way. There's a little siding out there called Manor. It goes a good little ways. It goes about 7 miles out past the end of the yard. I don't know if people hardly ever go down there or not. There we go. We got West Waycross lit up. I'll show it to you sometime during the day. It's actually kind of nice down there. There we go. Now he's rolling. All right, Q650 off at 2037. All right, there you go. Q650 by B-Tower. He's on his way to Thomasville, Dothan, Montgomery, Birmingham, points north from there. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Love all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the rails next time. Peace.